Country Nation Sports Wrap-Up Show.
Yeah, welcome to the Hill Country Nation Sports Wrap-Up Show here on, what is today, August the 9th, Tuesday. Back-to-back shows, if you can believe that. Monday, Tuesday. We'll have to get some more here going on as well. Wednesday, Thursday, it don't matter. We just keep doing it, having some fun. Here, broadcasting on the, one and a half of the Jam Broadcasting empire right there. Jam Broadcasting, we want to appreciate them. We thank them so much for letting us be here and hang our flags of honor, and I get to hang all my hats and all that good stuff. And you know what? 16 more days until kickoff time, and of course, scrimmage this Friday, Trey.
Scrimmages Friday. Some are doing Thursday. Football is here. I don't care. You can say 16 days. It's here. Scrimmages are here. Scrimmages count. You get to hit somebody besides yourself. The kids are looking forward. You always look forward to that first scrimmage because you get to hit someone else. You actually get to hit someone instead of just barely tap them. You actually get to go out and hit them. And so football's back, man. So why not have back-to-back shows, right? We had a good show yesterday. Probably even as equal show tonight. I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait. Harper Nation, stand up, man, for this guy, man. I can't wait to talk to him.
I tell you what, you know, one of the things that makes the Harper Longhorns is tradition. So when that comes down to tradition, of course, the Harper Longhorns, we're talking about this guy right here, Chad Zenner, here in his third year. Of course, you know, he gets passionate about it. He gets to talk to people like me. And, of course, he's a coach, family man as well, and of course he loves those kids. But when it all comes down to it, it's Longhorn Nation, Harper Nation right there. We are talking about none other than Chad Zenner of the Harper Longhorns. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me. This is an honor. I've heard of how many of these of y'all have done and seen other coaches do them, and as much as we can get a word out about Texas high school football. As a former player playing in Texas, one of the highlights of my life. So if I can give that back to my kids and my parents, I'll sign up for this every time.
You know, when you're talking about watching the other, you know, shows with the coaches, you're not trying to like steal something, are you? Like, because
no,
you know what's going to happen.
And it's a small world. I know all those guys have their numbers and kind of know about them, and we kind of have a tight circle within coaching. So I'm aware.
Hey, the first scrimmage is coming up this Friday, and, of course, the pad's coming on. There's going to be some pad thumping and hard-nosed football. Of course, you guys get a direct traffic and just kind of go from there. What is it like in the locker room with you and the coaches right now?
You know, I like that you brought that up. The coaching staff, this is my third year as the head coach, and it's the exact same staff for year three. You know, year one, there's challenges. Year two, we improve. Year three, we're moving on. But I can say my staff, it starts with our defensive coordinator, Scott Lake. He's my main assistant. Him and my other varsity coaches, basically by practice, the way we do things. Cade Toch, he works with our quarterbacks in our secondary. And T.R. Varnado works with our defensive line on defense, and he works with our receivers. And then the main job of Coach Nick Watley and Coach Cal Stevenson's middle school, but this time of year they're coaching us. They're helping us coach the high school kids, and obviously they have Friday night duties on the way we do things. But we actually skipped coaching school this summer, and in place of that, we went out to my cabin, my family's ranch, and we played golf one day, and we stayed at the cabin for 2 nights, and you know, one coach cooks, and we either, you know, make fun of it or compliment it, and then the next night another coach cooks a meal, and we either make fun of it or like it, and we play cornhole and washers, and you know, just basically bond. And I can say after year 3, going through our lumps, we are now we now care for one another. We now have bonded. We love one another. We have gone through our disagreements and what, you know, all those things. It's like anything. We ask the kids to bond and the kids to gel. The coaching staff has to do the same thing. And so it's been great. They're fun to be around. I think the kids can see how we have gelled and come together. And it's been a blast. We we now have inside jokes. We now have humor. They're great dads. And I told somebody this today. We did a picture for our program. And I just want the audience to know this as we're coaching other people's kids, how important kids are to us. Of a staff of 6, we have 13 kids between us. But probably the most shocking thing is we have 11 kids between us that are the ages of 9 and under. And so as much as I love football, as much as I love coaching kids, we also have our own kids and have little ones. And I think that's kind of why we have a good staff. We know what it means to love your own child, and we're a young staff. Y'all know Coach Lake. He's also our head baseball coach, and he's the old guy. He now has the glasses on the tip of his nose, and and he's looking over his glasses in team meetings and coaching meetings. And he's the old guy, which is very young. His eldest is Bryson, who's a junior, and his youngest one, Braden, is going to be an 8th grader. So. I just, to start the show off, want to make sure that I make that clear. I love those guys to death, and I think that's going to be the difference makers, how tight we are.
All right. Talk about how tight you are. Practices, I know we had COVID the last couple of years, COVID protocols. This year feels like it's the first year we're actually done with COVID, and it seems we're back to normal. Talk about how the difference is from this to this. I guess you call it 2 days. 2 days this year. You just put the pads on Saturday. Talk about how the difference is between like last COVID years and this year. Seems like it's back to regular football this year.
It is back to regular football. Knock on wood. I hope it doesn't come back. I have to say, my wife is a pharmacist. She does. And, no names mentioned, but she's the pharmacy manager for the HEB in Fredericksburg, and she sees medications roll across her table that, she signs off on. And so she sees that it is a thing, that it's around. I think we as a society look at it differently in a good way, because I'm all about high school kids being able to have as much normalcy as possible. But it is a factor. I hope it doesn't get bigger. I hope we can control that, because this is maybe, in my opinion, one of the most important times in these kids' lives. But the main difference for us is, to be honest with you guys, year one, I took all the kids the first day and went in the bleachers, and we had a talk, and this is the way it is. We're changing culture. We're doing all these things. Year two, I kind of did it again. Like, we had coaches talk per day, and we're going to get to those things. But year three, I talked to the coaches. I was like, you know what? The kids know who we are, and we know who they are. I said, there's not a whole lot of rah-rah speech. We're coming off a 7-on-7 that we did in Ingram. We're coming off of a great speed and strength camp summer workout, and day one is day one. They're ready. We're ready. Let's just cut to the chase and get it on. So we hit practice. They know how we practice. They know our offensive, defensive terminology. So I did feel behind the 8 ball my first year implementing new offense and new defense. But year three, it's time to go. And I think we're a little bit ahead of the curve, obviously.
How important is it for you to have, like, old Harper alumni, right? I mean, you have Tosh, Kyle Stevenson, grabbing him from over in Junction when he was over there. But, I mean, those kind of guys that know Harper tradition, they know the Longhorn way, and also just how passionate they are about football. Yeah,
that's big for me. I would say Coach Cade Tosh is kind of my Harper historian on staff. I have to ask him a lot of questions. When's the last time we beat so-and-so? When's the last time this was our record, or Division I, Division II? And he knows, and if he doesn't know, his dad knows. Alan Tosh is a huge Longhorn supporter. His father, he's going to help us this year up in the box, working the clock. And then, you take the addition of Cal Stevenson, our head softball coach. His father was the long-term superintendent for Harper, and his brother Guy graduated from there. Quinn graduated from there. His mom Holly just retired as a first grade teacher from there. He knows it. He gets it. I kind of bounce some ideas off of those two on Harper football, Harper community, Harper just the Harper basics. Then you get into Scott Lake, who's not a local, but he's been there 243 years. If he's watched, I'm making fun of him. But Coach Lake's been there so long. He's in the fabric of what it means to be a Harper Longhorn, and I steal from him all the time and bounce ideas off of Coach Lake. And he's kind of my hammer. He's my ramrod with the kids' discipline and ideas. And he's as Harper as they get, even though he's not local. And then you take T.R. Varnado and Nick Watley. They both live in Kerrville. We have a housing situation in Harper. There's not a whole lot of places to live in Harper. And so they have a short, about 20, 22-minute commute. And they're over here and they're bought in. They love it. And then there's me. And I don't know if y'all know it or not, but I'm a Fredericksburg graduate. And so Gillespie County kind of is my home. And I joke with people that I finally found, I'm a Baton Billy, but I found my home in Gillespie County, and I'm a Harper Longhorn. I graduated in 2003 from Fredericksburg. Coach Dean Herbert was my head football coach. And I loved every single minute of it. I went on and played college football at Mary Hardin Baylor, went to Crosby, came back to Fredericksburg, and I followed a head coach, Dusty Gibbs, here to Harper. And I stepped into a small school. I started at a 5A. I went down to Fredericksburg as a 4A, and then I found myself at Harper 2A and thought, this is my niche. This is what I like. This is where I want to raise my family. And I grew up here and never really put it all together how Harper did things. My family's ranch is off of Tivydale, off of Otto Stout Road. My mom was a Stout. And so the joke between me and Coach Gibbs when he was here was that we would cross paths on back roads. And, boy, if you and I ever got along, we get in a fist fight, whatever. But, no, I didn't know a whole lot about Harper, even though being so close to Fredericksburg growing up. But what a cool place! What a diamond in the rough! How good can we become? It is pretty special. And I've committed here. I've built a house here. Two of my kids are in school here. The littlest one, who's not the littlest one, he was a 9.5-pound baby named Otto. He's a monster. He'll be coming here through pre-K when he's old enough. He's in the daycare stages now, but it's a wonderful place.
That's awesome, man. Harper supports y'all's the team. They travel really well. Let's get into the schedule from this year, because that's what we're all here for, actually, because they want to know the Harper Longhorns this year and the schedule. I know that's the first thing I look forward to. Last year, I'm going to dip in a little bit. Last year, you started off. Y'all's team started off strong. Y'all win all 5 straight games, I do believe. And then you kind of hit a rough patch at the end, losing 3 straight. But I noticed that you had a better away record than home record. How is that? I know Harper Longhorn fans travel, but how do you get your team prepared to travel on the road and have a better record than that? Because usually it's the other way around, but y'all had a 4-1 record on away last year. How are you going to implement it this year?
Yeah, I don't know if that's anything I'm doing or we're doing. I think a lot of it has to do with who you're playing in those circumstances. I would brag on our kids that they're tough and they're resilient, and I don't think they really care where we play. We play on turf or grass or parking lot, practice. We have good kids that enjoy playing the game of football. And so it's hard to say road or home or how that all shapes out. As far as the overall record's concerned, we started out hot. I think maybe we rattled off 6 in a row, 5 in a row. I think it was 6 in a row. And then we finished the season 7-4. But yeah, playing on the road, the baseball coaches out there thinking to Coach Lake, some people prefer to play on the road because you don't have to get your field ready. You don't got to mow, paint stripes, the booster club, getting the concession stand going, hang flags. When you play on the road, you literally pack your stuff, get on a bus, go where you're told to go, whatever your locker room is, and you kind of have you kind of have a chip on your shoulder. Like, they're going to put us in this terrible locker room, and they're going to turn the AC off and give us no hot water for showers. And we pack our own water. Coach Lake and Coach Toch are kind of hard-headed on, they don't like to ask for anything. They want to do everything themselves. If they're listening, they'll laugh. So we pack our own water. We like to drink Harper water the way we like it, iced down. We don't want to depend on anybody. And I don't know. That's kind of comes from me and kind of how I am. And I think our kids kind of buy into that we kind of, go into a dogfight going, hey, we're on the road. Things aren't peachy and perfect. And we just play football. And I would say, even as a head coach, I have less to worry about. I have less to worry about the flow of the entire stadium and, the production that we're putting on. I'm there to coach football with my kids and be done with it. So I don't know if the win and loss record on home or away means anything. But just to wrap up last year, I mean, we all want a better record every year. I don't know if you can ever say Harper football's back. I mean, that's a bold statement, but we won 2 in season, 2 in season, 2 in season, 2 in season, and then we rattle off 7-4 in my second year. And our kids, I mean, I'll just be honest. Bryson Lake, our senior quarterback, he's a great kid. He's very boisterous. That's not good enough, and I try to sell it to my kids. If you want to go further beyond that and win more games, if you don't, who cares? I mean, we got to be able to bow our necks and put ourselves out there and not be scared of failure. So 7-4 was the number. We want to do better on that. But when you look at our schedule, it's going to be tough. I would say in Texas high school football, to not mention any sports or locations, but you can kind of tell when some schools don't really put a lot of eggs in a certain sport, if that makes sense.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I always tell people, nobody knocks their football program. It is Friday night. I don't care where you are, what division, they're all in on Friday night. And there's no slaps along the way. I don't care who we're playing. You respect everyone, and Texas high school football is the greatest thing on earth. That's why I do what I do. So nothing's guaranteed. Nothing. I don't care what the point spread is. You got to line up and you got to play the game.
Real quickly, how important is it for you to have your seniors coming back this year? I mean, like you said, you got Bryson Lake, but it's those guys that have been around you, been around their dad for a long time. They know Harper, Nation football, all the sports, as a matter of fact, but also to be a leader for the youngsters coming up.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up. So year 3, something I've always wanted to implement as far as leadership, and I'll get into the senior thing, is I always wanted to put together a unity council. And first year coach, I'm taking on so much, implementing this. We did Midnight Madness second year in a row. We did Football Moms second year in a row, decals with dads. With the Midnight Madness, we have a team sleepover. They stay in the field house with me. I get no sleep. But we're building on these things. But back to those seniors, we put together the first ever vote on a unity council, something I learned at Mary Hardin Baylor from Pete Fredenberg. We had a unity council of 12 members. It didn't matter how good you were, bad you were, tall, fast, strong, none of that mattered. Freshman through senior didn't matter. It was voted on by the team. And if they thought you were a team player, a kind of team guy, and you got to vote, you got to vote. And what's crazy about that, we voted the Saturday after Midnight Madness. The coaches, we cooked a big team breakfast. We had Kay Toch on scrambled eggs. We had Cal Stevenson on bacon, Coach Lake on the sausage. And we as coaches, that's kind of the servanthood we talk about, serving those kids. We cooked it. We gave it to them. We shared fellowship as men and kids and had a good meal. And then we voted on Unity Council. And so just recently I told them who the Unity Council was, and we broke ours down to 8. There's 8 of them, and I told them, and they're right here in front of me, and it's 7 seniors and 1 junior, Bryson Lake. We had Bryson Lake, Fred Earhart, Ethan Garrett, Tate Lovell, Zane Schubert, Silas Sander, Case Cromer, and Barrett Sander. And that's a way for me to, I talked to my coaches, hey, we had a bad practice. We didn't like it, whatever. I can now go to the union council and say, hey, guys, it's got to be on you at some point, some way in there. Y'all have to be the avenue between the team and me or the team and the coaches. And that's hard. Peer pressure is hard, between kid to kid. And I'll be honest with you, we had kind of a hot practice today, and there was kind of some chirping going on, and a senior kind of told a junior what to do, and I backed it, and it ended up with a good outcome. But those seniors our first seniors, the ones that just graduated, the Braden Strickland, Cade Vickers, Ricky Harper, Taco Bauman. I don't want to miss any of them, but those seniors, those great group, we miss them, but they showed this next crop how to go about it and get 7-4. And no disrespect to those seniors, but these guys got to learn from them, and now the ball needs to start rolling. And I think I'm done with the 2-win seasons. I can't guarantee it, but I think we have Harper football going in the right way.
And you said some very good names right there that have been calling their names out for at least 3 years. We got to take a quick break. When we come back, though, we're going to have more with Coach Chad Zenner right here on the Hill Country Sports Wrap Up.
For over 15 years, Angela Walters has been in the real estate business. She works very hard to pay attention to details and delivers the very best level of service to each and every important customer. Angela is great at negotiations. She helps with staging your property, problem solving if necessary, and she has aggressive marketing skills. Selling real estate has been a job Angela Walters has enjoyed since she was 19 years old. The Hill Country is Angela's home and knows where to find those hidden gems. Whether you are selling your home or looking to buy the home of your dreams, then look no further than Angela Walters, Realtor. Angela Walters of Kerrville Remax knows that it's easy to sell something you love so much. License 653731.
And we want to make sure that you go and tell Angela Walters, Realtor of the Kerrville Remax, thank you so much for being a sponsor of the Hill Country Nation Game of the Week and also for the Sports Wrap-Up Show. It's team players like her that make us be able to, that helps us to be able to bring small town football, sports, basketball, boys and girls, baseball and softball. And if there was water polo, I guarantee you we would be doing that as well. So thank you to Angela Walters for being our sponsor. We're going to bring everybody back up here. The big schedule right there, as you've already seen it, starting off with a Saturday game between the D'Hanis Cowboys. That's going to be a big one, and no secret though, but I believe that's going to be our second of 2 game of the weeks for that opening round.
I got a question, JR, real quick. How come you're playing in at Cowboy Stadium again, Coach? Like, is that part of negotiation? You couldn't negotiate a home because you just played them last year. Why can't you play them home? I mean, I know you're going to play them at home next year, but I mean, come on, 2 years in a row?
Yeah. I'm going to say this as nice as I can.
Here we go.
If Coach Langfeld is listening, he's one of my favorites in the profession. He's full of bull. He's funny. That's just Coach Langfeld. I've known him for a while, and when all the UIL stuff hit, I was basically kind of sitting at where I'm at now. Don't y'all remember being like cold and icy and snow? I don't know if y'all remember that. But we couldn't go to San Antonio or go to where our spots were to find out what UIL did and how you start scheduling. And so we talked earlier that we wanted to play. And that was realignment. That was actually my first realignment going through that, debacle of district. And I got to find non-district and, okay, who's going to be home and home? We got to find out your district schedule and all those things. And it got down to us. And I said, Coach, I came to you last year. You come to me. Coach, I can't. And it's just typical coaching. He said, Coach, you don't want to get me fired. You can't get me fired. I don't have enough home games. And he's older than me, not by much, but he's older. I said, Coach Langfield, I played you there last year. You played me. Coach, you can't get me fired. Well, then I talked to Coach Kowalski at Sabinal, and I said, Coach Sabinal, Coach Kowalski, will you come here? Well, Coach Kowalski says, Coach, I came there last year. You come here. So this goes on with every single coach, and I'm not making something new. This happens everywhere. And so when I felt like he was being hard to deal with on Saturday, away game, I talked to a few of my other opponents, and every coach in Texas, you want 5-5 if you can. Right. Yeah, 6 home and a 4 road is good for 1 year, but then it's 4 and 6 the other way. So, yeah, it's funny you asked that, Coach Langfield. I know y'all covered Dehaven sports, and you probably talked to him, but it's fine. We start off on the road 2 weeks in a row, but when it all shakes out, these juniors and seniors, they're going to get their 5-5.
Yeah, you get back and you're going to be 2 games at home in a row, which is very, very nice. All right, comes to our very, very favorite part of this. I love this part of the show. And Trey, you started off, man.
All right, Coach. Thursday night, you're getting prepared. You're getting ready for the big game on Friday Night Lights. I just want to know, you eat the same meal every night, don't you? Every Thursday night?
No.
Yes, you do.
No. It's whatever I microwave or what my wife cooks. No, if my wife's gonna hear that and be mad. No, we have 3 kids, and we do a good job of making sure we cook and try to get lean proteins and veggies and fruits. And any coach could tell you, any coach across the state of Texas, our schedules are a grind. And on top of that, my wife is a pharmacist, so those kids know how to eat concession stand food. And so whether we're sub-varsity at home or I travel sub-varsity on the road, my kids have eaten themselves some nachos and some sausage wraps. And but no, when it comes to a meal, I'm not the same one every time.
But what about a sandwich? Like on Fridays, do you have the same kind of like snack lunch every Friday on game day, whether it's a sandwich, chips, Red Bull?
Well, my coaches that are listening, no, it's nothing in particular. I would say I'm a big fella. I'm probably close to now 300 in my prime. I was a former offensive lineman, so I learned early on as a coach, I don't eat a big pregame meal. Several years ago with Coach Gibbs, it was a home game, and probably 29, 30 years old, and I ordered a burger to go from the Longhorn there in Harper.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, they're good burgers, and it was called the Ranch Hand. It's like double patty, and he walks in the office, and I'm just hammering this burger, and he goes, Coach, that's going to kill you when we get to pregame. I was like, oh, no, it's fine. And, yeah, we got to pregame, and that double meat burger was garbage. I felt drained. I felt terrible. So if anything, I kind of almost skip a pregame meal. I don't like feeling that way, but if my coaches are watching, they watch it later. It's kind of a thing that's kind of gotten out of hand. Is my Bang intake, the Bang energy drink. My wife's on my case about it, but Coach Lake will look at me, and I have one at practice or before practice. He's like, Coach, what number of Bang is that? Is that 1 or 2? And I can't lie. Sometimes late afternoon, I gotta kind of go, it's number 3.
I just want to know how to get
yeah,
hamburgers, man. That's it. The jalapeno bun. We never had a ranch hamburger. We just get a single patty.
Oh man. Okay, so we're done with the food talk.
Wait, before you say, hey, anybody want to make a comment, just go ahead and make a comment right here if you got a question for Coach Zenner, or just want to ask a question or give him a shout out. Hey, right here, put the comments right there. Boom, go.
All right. If you win a week and then the next week, do you wear the same article of clothing, and is it washed?
Again, if the parents and kids know me, I'm the sweatiest person on the field. We go to an afternoon practice. I sweat more than the kids do. That goes back to my college days. I'm a sweating machine. You can call it. I have hyperhidrosis. It's anyone that knows me knows that's how I am. So no. And for those watching, I do laundry every night, and I do it. That's not a shot at my wife. My wife takes care of almost everything, but I wash my sweaty workout clothes and all my gear, and there's no superstition there. You wouldn't want to be around me.
Not even a handkerchief.
No.
There you go. Coach, what about a Bible verse? Do you have a team Bible verse for this year?
No, I don't have a Bible verse. But I do keep the Jesus Calling book by my desk, and if you've read that or seen that day by day, it's weird how sometimes that day speaks to what you're going through. And so Friday during the period, it's usually every Friday during the period. Even on a road game, we usually don't leave before the athletic period, but we have a team meeting, me and my defensive coordinator, Coach Lake, and we go through offensive and defensive game plan. And then I obviously have the message, or I have kind of the pregame speech before the pregame speech, and I usually share what that day happened with the Jesus Calling book. And so not a specific verse, but on that topic, if we're on that kind of what's the motto this year, I really didn't sell it as a big team motto, but on our football field, at the corner of the end zone, our practice field, when we get to the practice field, I wrote in paint, because we paint our own fields, I wrote Family 2022. And I always talk about family. I always talk about how I spend a lot more time with them than I do my own kids. And you've probably heard it. It was new to me. And I read a lot of books and a lot of coaching stuff and follow people that coach and words of wisdom. And I finally heard somebody put an acronym with family. Maybe it's well known. My kids hadn't heard about it. And kind of what we're hanging our hat on this year is the word family. We're saying, forget about me. I love you. If you can get a teenage kid to get out of what they're feeling or what they think about what they're worried about, if they can do something for somebody else, I mean, obviously that translates to the sport of football and Friday nights, but I think that's just good for kids and society in general is to care and nurture somebody else and get out of your own comfort zone. So we did it day one, we did it day two, and now the kids can tell you that's what we're about. We're about family. Forget about me. I love you. And I think the kids were kind of weird my first year on the word I used, how often I used the word love. But I'm a loving guy. I tell people I love them. I tell the kids I love them. I hug them. That's just how I am. And I want them to understand that's okay. It's okay to tell somebody you love them and tell somebody that they're important to them, because, you know, we have kids that don't hear that at home. We have dads that don't tell their kids that. We have coaches and adults in our profession that their dad never told them I love them. So I make sure that I do that part, and I don't take that part of my job lightly, that I am a father figure or I am a sense of normalcy to a lot of these kids. So I think that's big to maybe offer a family atmosphere to maybe a kid that maybe doesn't have that at his house.
I gotta tell Tate Lovell that every time I see him. Hey, Uncle JR loves you. Did you hear me, Tate? I said I love you, and I have to give him a hug, and then I'll embarrass him. I don't care. It don't matter. I'm sorry, Trey. Go.
Well, that was my next question about your motto, but so I'm going to steal another question.
Yeah.
You talk about your wife and how she does everything for you, and like not everything, but during football season, they're pretty much a single parent. Just talk about how not just your wife, but all the do all the coaches' wives like have like a night that they all get together where y'all got to watch the kids, or they just get a night where they talk trash about y'all or whatever the case may be. Just alone time for them to get away from everything.
No, it's kind of hit and miss. We have two of our coaches that live in Kerrville, Coach Watley and Coach Varnado. But you know, a way for them to kind of bond and have that take care of us vibe, if you will. They all work. They're all busy. They all have their own lives, and you know they don't pamper us or take care of us. But every Saturday that we work up at school, the wives provide us lunch, and they have a schedule that's kind of a round robin. Like, my wife will come in with my kids at 11:30 and drop off something in the crock pot with a protein, a starch, a veggie, some Dr. Peppers for Coach Toch. And yeah, he's laughing.
Always enjoy Dr. Pepper.
Oh yeah, he loves his Dr. Pepper, and so every wife knows they better bring Dr. Pepper.
Exactly. Oh, it's in high school.
Oh yeah, but anyway, no, they that kind of gives them a feeling of being a part of it. That they rotate it, and what's the next wife meal? What are we having? What are we eating? And that's a chance for us to break from film, eat, kind of have some fellowship, get our minds off of football, and then get back to work. They've done that during our coaches retreat. We had a time to bond, so the wives had a night that we kept the kids, and they went out to a nice dinner and kind of got to hang out. No husbands, no kids, and kind of, sharing that. And then something that I was a part of as a kid, I went to Fredericksburg High School, and my dad was a coach with my mom, and I grew up going to Friday night after game parties. Coaching staff, kids, we would turn on, Friday night highlights, Friday night extra, Fox Sports, and someone have snacks and appetizers, and the kids in the backyard playing. It's midnight, and it's later, and that was a part of my childhood. And it gets late, but I mean, you're tired Saturday morning regardless, and that bonding time is important. So we've done that in the past. Try to do it once a year. We are kind of spread out with two coaches being in Kerrville, but my wife's already told me we're gonna do a homecoming one. Bring the coaches' wives over because they do. They sacrifice so much for what we're doing, but I just hope people realize really they're sacrificing for kids because they're letting us do something for kids. And it's hard. It's not always easy, but I think at the end of the day, what we do for Texas high school kids, it's not around a whole lot in society anymore. And we're needed. There's coaches leaving the profession. There's teachers leaving the profession. And, I spoke at a track meet this last year. I said, guys, when it gets hard and you think it ain't right for you, dig your heels in. Because if we all start getting out, I mean, I don't know what's going to be left of our future.
Right. Coach, a couple little things real fast. I know it, and we don't mind. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about this. We don't have to keep it at a 30-minute program, Trey.
I've been trying to tell you that. You always try to get out at 30. I'm like, no, I just want
to shout out to Trey. It's happy birthday, buddy.
Oh, wow.
So he is, he was like, Coach Zenner, on my birthday, I'm there, dude.
Well, I had to make sure because, he's canceled a couple times. I think he was
know. Oh, that's funny, man. But, Coach, so – I understand. I mean, and just kind of tonight and everything, it's amazing. I would love listening to what you say, but it just kind of comes down to the point of what a lot of, coaches and the players say. You love to tell stories. Like, what is your favorite story to tell? I mean, you were telling stories here, and it was awesome. I'm like, I'm all tuned in, like what's going to happen next, but seriously, I mean, that's something that you use as a motivation as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of heard that joke earlier, but from a young age, you wouldn't have guessed. I was shy. I would hide behind my mom and dad. I wouldn't make eye contact.
Come on.
But I grew out of it. My mom has spent many years in the banking world. My mom's a talker. She everybody in Fredericksburg, Texas, knows who Peggy is. She's very likable. She always has a smile on her face. And she's a talker, and I never thought I'd become my mom, but I'm becoming my mom. I have a tendency to over-explain things. I'm teaching the offensive line or the linebackers. I mean, I will describe a 7-word sentence will be 7 paragraphs. I got to tell you the size, the color, the shape, how, when, the way it smelled, My wife gives me a hard time. Our coaches give me a hard time. To give you my favorite story, I don't know. I tell people, my family, I get to telling stories out of our ranch, our cabin, and they go, here we go. Here comes another Chad story. And we're to the point now with my coaching staff, I start telling one and they start rolling their eyes, and they've all heard it before. But I don't stop. I keep telling it. And I tell people it's because so I can remember it.
Or you might have some detail that may got missed the last time,
Yeah. So I love, I don't know how to sum up life, but the things that I've gone through, good or bad, they end up being a memory and they end up being a story. And if you can survive a bad experience and learn from it, I tell kids too, you're going to tell a story one day. And the humorous ones, many I can't say on air, from my childhood to college football, things that have happened in coaching. I tell people that the craziest things happen to me, and I guess that's why I have stories. I don't know, but I've been through some wild things. I've been blessed to tell a good story, make people laugh, and I try to put that in my coaching. It's funny you say that. I actually told my team 2 stories during water break today. When it comes to coaching, I feel like it gives kids an insight to me that I can be demanding and I can rip kids' tail and get in their face. But I can also share them, share my life with them and give them examples and let them in my life and, invite them over to my house and see my kids and try to be authentic as I can, because I do. I love them and I spend a lot of time with them. And if I can't build that relationship, I can't get them to do anything for me. So I do a lot of that through storytelling. And I would say here about 3 weeks ago, I told a story and Scott Lake did not hear it. And we are now 8 years with each other. And he's finally said, I've never heard that one.
That's awesome. Well, we come down to the final question. And first of all, we are honored and to have you here tonight. We really appreciate you taking the time and thank you, to your wife to go out to the ATV with the
she's wrangling the troops.
Yeah. But when it all comes down to it, what makes Coach Chad Zenner Coach Chad Zenner?
Wow, tough question. I would say no disrespect to any coaches out there or how they do business, but I work with enough coaches to know at certain times I'll meet a coach, I'll text him, we'll email before the game, and I felt at times kind of that arrogance, that kind of like you're being big timed. I've coached at 5A, 4A, and now 2A, and I know we're competitive. I know we're trying to win. I know, the old school, we hate each other. But I would say through the whole thing, we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to coach kids. We're all trying to win football games, and it's okay to love another coach. It's okay to show respect, to another team. And I would say what sums me up, I'm very, very down to earth. I'm very open. I'm very honest. My wife gets on to me that I'm too open. I'm too honest. It's a downfall of mine. But, my dad, who coached 30 plus years and retired coaching, I finally learned from him that, and I struggled with this 5-10 years ago, that I can only be me. And I feel some head coaches, even some assistant coaches, try to be, they see what Nick Saban's doing. They see what Dabo Sweeney's saying. No, I try to be Chad Zenner and who God made me to be. I can only run my program the way I think is best to run my program and how I fit Harper. And not every fit is right. I feel like I fit Harper well in what we're about. And, I'm not saying this job's easy, but I try to make it easy by doing what I know and what I love, and the rest is the rest. And I can't control those things. So I'm a lover. I always have a smile on my face, and I just love what I do.
So we get a big hug when we see you the next time.
Yes, sir.
There you go. Okay, real quickly, I know Trey, he had some quick questions, but we're going to have to really wrap it up here and stuff. But we got to ante up here. That's the big thing right now. So here's the deal. Ante up. We already talked about a flag. We do need some kind of T-shirts, though, Coach. I didn't wear my Harper hat, but it's an old one that Coach Reed. Yeah. We'll take some of that, too. Coach Reed gave me one of the first flags that Harper ever had, and also one of the first hats from a season about 5 years ago. But from Coach Fontenot Amadea Bandera, we're getting some shirts and a helmet. Coach Easterly says he's going to give us some shirts, hats, and helmet. Coach Jared Taylor said, man, he's hooking us up with like season tickets or something. I don't know.
Oh, he said we're getting a signed autographed jersey, helmets, hats, flags, everything.
Yep, and an autographed helmet. What's Coach Zenner and the Harper Longhorns got for Hill Country Nation?
All right, you're putting the pressure on me. I can get you a shirt, Harper football. This is new. Two. We're actually going through a logo change. I don't know if you've seen this or heard about this. But we're no more Longhorn. We're going with the Texas and the H. And you know Coach Varnado?
Okay, yep.
I might talk to him and get an old helmet that's about to go out of cycle and get the new logo on a white helmet for you guys.
Oh, that's awesome. That'll be awesome. We'll take it. And could you throw in a ranch burger?
I can do that too, but don't eat it before a Friday night game.
That's right. Damn.
Massive, man.
Coach Zenner, man, it's been an honor. It's been a privilege to have you on our show here tonight. We finally got it going, and yeah, please thank the family for this happening. We are so excited about what's happening in Harper. 3 years in, you've got a lot of kids that have been coming up through the programs already knowing you because of 8 years, and all the other coaches like the dinosaur Coach Lake at the same time. With Tosh and Stevenson, those guys, they just been there forever. But Coach Zenner, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate what y'all do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Happy birthday, Trey. That's going to do it here once again from the Hill Country Nation Sports Wrap-Up Show right here from the Jam Broadcasting Empire on about a floor and a half right there and stuff like that. But as you heard, our flags of fame and everything else going to get a little bit bigger. Hey, fan pick coming up here pretty soon tonight or first thing tomorrow. First game is going to be picked by the fans. We already know Saturday what's happening there with the Heinous and Harper. Find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Hey, let's do it the Bryson Lake way. Hey, welcome to Hill Country Nation, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, Instagram, and YouTube Live. That's right there, baby. We love you. We appreciate you. And as always, we want to say, in the words of Robert Newman, good night and God bless. And we are out of here!